Alright, everybody good? We back, we good? All that good shit? Alright. Alright, let's do it then. Tip, but that's perfectly normal, but that's a perfectly normal thing to do, unlike me speaking English. So, how long did you watch the two of them? Not more than a minute or two, I think. Okay. I guess then I could make them wait for me. So who are these guests you're talking about? You guys, of course. You and Maya and Little Pearl. I thought it would be really rude since I invited you guys if I disappeared on you. So I went back to my seat pretty soon after seeing Matt in the hallway. This is like squeezing water from a stone. It's probably pointless to press further. Do you remember this incident? Did Mr. Powers leave his seat that night? I don't remember that happening at all. Maya was making such a racket in her hyper state. I ended up focusing on her. I see. In any case, from his story, he probably wasn't gone for very long. Alright, well I have to find something. I guess we could try the wine glass. Hang on. He talks about I think it was normal bellboy. Only a few minutes ago you stated, you know, I did feel something weird. I think it was because Matt, well, he gave the bellboy a tip. Could it be that you felt something strange about the tip-giving incident itself? Oh, that's because we had already pressed it, so we knew that statement when we came back, we could, you know, throw it out there. Ah, yeah, that's it. You really know your job. Mr. Edgeworth. Yes, Your Honor. This bellboy, he wasn't an ordinary one, was he? Perhaps we should let the witness tell us. Very well. Mr. Powers, please amend your testimony. You mean about the bellboy, right? Okay. That gave the bellboy a tip. Alright. So we gave the bellboy a tip. Well, what's so strange about that? Well, you see, Matt's not a poor penny pincher like me. I was trying to figure out how much it was because the tip really shocked me. How much it was? But that's when something even more surprising happened. The bellboy was putting the tip he got in his pocket. And that's when I got my first good look at the guy's face. I was really shocked. I'm afraid I don't follow at all. Sounds like Mr. Powers was surprised twice by this event. Wonder which of his shocking moments I should ask about. Go with the bellboy's face. What was so shocking about the bellboy's face, Mr. Powers? Well, he wasn't exactly a boy, more like an old gramps. Ahem, I hope you know that discrimination towards old men is a no-no in my court. No, that's not what I meant at all. In the smack middle of the guy's face, there was a line of stitches. A line of stitches? Yeah, and it went straight from the tippy top of his head to the bottom of his chin. Almost like that if that thread snapped, all the stuff in his head would come spilling out. Ah! He was there, at Ungard's house. He was that butler! What is it, Mr. Wright? Nothing, Your Honor. So that means that Ungard was talking with the killer then. If that fact were to be exposed, Ungard would be declared guilty in a blink. Phoenix, you have to play dumb here. Pretend you don't know anything. Yes, Chief. You sure you don't have anything you would like to say, Mr. Wright? Huh? What did you just say, Your Honor? Nothing, Mr. Wright. Nothing. We're just going around and around in circles. Now then, Mr. Powers, please continue with your testimony. All right. Saw the two of them, the bellboy and the defendant, together. Bellboy just wants to say congrats, and you're watching them to notice anything strange. Feel something weird. Give bellboy a tip. Not more than a minute. Okay. The guest part. We'll start it back at the beginning. Fence room, why'd you go there? Want to congratulate him. Oh yeah, this part, yeah. The part about being tricked and whatever. Okay. Alright, so what do we do here? I mean, maybe we can try the wine glass somewhere, but I don't know why, or I don't know where or why. Alright, so... and we're sure it's Mount Ungard. Okay. Give the boy a tip. Probably wasn't gone very long. Okay. Maybe we try the part about the other tip, or the... let's try the other part about the tip. Alright, let's focus on Guard's tip this time. The defendant is a huge star. He can afford to give generous tips, wouldn't you agree? Sure. But giving him that much was maybe a little too much, I think. A little too much? Would you please clarify for the court about how much you would say the defendant gave to the bellboy? Honestly, I don't know. I can't even begin to guess. And why is that? Because he gave the bellboy a really, really fat roll of cash. A roll of cash? Ah, well, how interesting. That certainly was a very generous tip, wasn't it? A very fat roll of cash. That can hardly be called a tip, Your Honor. The judge is beginning to look awfully suspicious of us. The defendant is a superstar. That kind of tip is typical fare for people like him. Are you saying that all superstars are super spenders? If I could receive large rolls of cash by simply bringing people things on trays, then why on earth would I stand around here prosecuting? He's got a point. I don't even get paid, let alone rolls of cash for all my hard work. So supposing that the roll of cash was not a tip, then what was it? Payment, Your Honor. Here we go. Payment? Evil snark. Isn't it obvious? For the murder of Mr. Juan Corrida. Then the bellboy, the witness saw. Yes, he was the assassin. Hold your horses now, Mr. Edgeworth. You don't have any proof of this, do you? Have I ever been unprepared to support my claims, Your Honor? I have here the card Shelley the Killer left at the scene of the crime. Shelley the Killer? He is the person the police's special investigations team has been chasing for ages. I am certain that the person the witness saw was this very assassin, Shelley the Killer. Really? What's wrong, Mr. Powers? No, nothing. Something just clicked in my head and I think I figured something out. Oh. Actually, I saw that bellboy again later on that night. What? Mr. Powers, please testify. Tell us what you saw. Yes, sir. Right away. This time, I was in the hallway because I had to go to the bathroom. And that's when that bellboy I saw earlier came out of the room. Of course, when I say room, I mean Juan Corrida's room. Now that I think about it, that bellboy did seem kinda out of place. Yeah, so he had to be the assassin. I'm sure of it. I mean... Thank you very much. That is all we need for now. Huh. But I'm not done. There's still more. Let us first establish that the bellboy was truly Mr. the Killer, then we shall see. So the bellboy came out of the victim's room. And if that bellboy really was the assassin, then I think the answer is fairly obvious. That would be correct, Your Honor. Well, Mr. Wright, I believe it's your turn to entertain and make us laugh. Ha 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 ha. This is no laughing matter. Alright. Lazy. Alright. It's in the hallway because you had to go to the bathroom. And what time was it? Well, I don't remember. The award ceremony ended around 8 p.m., right? And I went to Matt's room pretty soon after that. And then I came back. And then I went to the bathroom. So I guess maybe it was around 8:10 p.m. by that time. You're not one for details, are you, Mr. Powers? Sorry. I thought I could maybe catch Matt and say my congrats. Okay. Saw the bellboy earlier come out of the room. Are you sure it was the same bellboy? Yeah. And how could you tell? All the bellboys wear the same uniform after all. But you see, well, he had those stitches in his face. So I'm sure it's the same guy that was talking with Matt. Late? What do you mean? My internet went out, so it looks like I started late, but I actually started, like, right a little after 8. Oh, you're late. Point at yourself then, you doofus. Point at your own Pinocchio. Don't point at me, I'll point at you all I want. So which room did the bellboy come out of? Of course, when I say room, I mean Juan Corrida's room. The victim's room, huh? Yeah, the one with all the really pretty flowers and teddy bears. It was Juan's room, all right. Words cannot describe how screwed I am. Let's continue with the testimony, shall we? Okay. Seemed out of place. So what exactly was so out of place about him? Right. Why the insipid grin? Maybe because I have no idea what damaging thing he's going to say next. Well, the bellboy was empty-handed. Empty-handed? That bellboy was one of those room service people, right? But he wasn't pushing a cart, and he wasn't holding a tray either. You'd call that a little strange too, wouldn't you? I agree that it is a bit strange, Mr. Powers. But is it really that unusual for a bellboy to be empty-handed? What should I do? Should I let Mr. Powers' testimony slide, or... try to pull a fast one? Yo, what? Bro, I am so doing this. There was nothing strange or unusual about an empty-handed bellboy. But there really, really is. There really, really isn't. If you two are done being school children, bellboys are for room service. There is no reason for them to be empty-handed, ever. Your Honor, I ask that the witness's previous statement be supplanted with this new one. Edgeworth. Are you going to do whatever you can to make the bellboy look suspicious? I see. Very well. This court recognizes and grants the prosecution's request. Mr. Powers, if you could amend your testimony, please. Yes, sir. Okay. That was kind of strange. Alright, we'll just go through the rest of it, then we'll go back and we'll try the other one. Please don't be so quick to judge. But it's kind of a Powers family thing. Think of every person as a thief. Well, I guess a thief and an assassin are both sneaky and silent. It's not the point, Phoenix. In any case, if that bellboy was the assassin, it would be very bad for us. But he really is the assassin, you know? Yes, but you can't give in yet. If you want to prolong this trial for as long as possible, you're going to have to pull some cheap tricks on this one. Alright. Alright, let's go back to the empty-handed thing. So you're saying it's suspicious? Yep. Alright, yeah, really suspicious. First saw the bellboy. He was holding a tray in his hand, and there was a bottle of juice and a wine glass on it. Juice? What kind of juice was it? I'm pretty sure it was tomato juice. If we could come up with some sort of reason as to why he would come out empty-handed, some sort of proof, then I think we can dodge the bullet on this one for now. Proof, huh? Sounds like another job for the court record. Alright, I'm pretty sure I know this one. So, if we can present the wine glass itself, this should be enough. Mr. Powers. Yes? You're easily influenced by other people's words, aren't you? As soon as you heard that bellboy might have been the killer, you got caught up in believing it must be true. But, isn't he really suspicious? He's got all those stitches, and... Slam. So, a baseball has stitches? Are you saying all baseballs are suspicious because they have stitches? How is that an argument? But we'll go with it. Well, there's also, what about him being empty-handed? I would like to ask the court to please take a look here. This is the crime scene. There is a wine glass sitting next to Mr. Corita's body. The liquid inside this glass is tomato juice. And now, if you would look at what is on top of the table in the lower right corner here, anyone can clearly see that it is a tray with a bottle of tomato juice on it. The bellboy had just brought this to Mr. Corita's room. He left the tray in the room, which is why he was empty-handed when he left. But that would mean that the bellboy had seen and left a dead body in the room. But can you prove that Mr. Corita was already dead at that time? Mr. Edgeworth? Yes? I blame you for leading me down this route. I'm terribly sorry. What is with him? Why is he laughing? Witness, is there one more thing you would like to share with us? Is there? The bellboy is empty-handed, or should I say empty-handed. I recall you had something interesting to say about his hands. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. Huh? What? That bellboy, he was wearing gloves. Gloves? Yeah, pitch black leather ones. All the other bellboys don't wear gloves like that, right? Black leather gloves? Why didn't you mention them earlier? Sorry, it slipped my mind. Boy, does this make the bellboy look really suspicious. Alright, gotta focus. Can't get lax here. So what if he had gloves? A lot of bellboys wear gloves. Come on, Mr. Wright. That bellboy was wearing black leather ones. So? A football is made of leather? Are you saying all footballs are suspicious because they're made of leather? Football! America! Fucking American football, dude. It's just the best, dude. There you go. Easy clap. Are all football suspicious? Yes. Well, that man, he received a large roll of cash from the defendant. And then he was seen leaving the crime scene wearing black leather gloves. I don't think that even someone like myself can believe that he was just another bellboy. It seems that we have finally come to an understanding. Now then, witness, please continue with the rest of your testimony. The rest? Oh yes, please tell us more. Okay. What? There's more? After leaving Juan's room, the bellboy went and knocked on Matt's door just like that. He gave something to the person inside the room. Then the old guy just left without even going into the room. Excuse me. After that, I went to the bathroom and then back to my seat. So the bellboy, after leaving the crime scene, next went to the defendant's room. Yeah, I kinda saw all that by accident. Some accident? I'd say you saw too much. All of it was suspicious to high heaven. I think it's safe to say that we can no longer consider this bellboy to be normal. Now then, let's get started, shall we? Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please. Yes, Your Honor. Alright. Have to somehow BS our way through this. Alright, after leaving one's room, bellboy went knocked on Matt's door. Okay? Is that what you saw while you were busy spying? Excuse me? I may be a poor, underpaid action star, but even I wouldn't stoop to spying. Well, I think the point is, where did you watch all this from, Mr. Powers? Oh, from the door of the bathroom with my left eye, in a sort of sneaky spy-like. I knew he was spying. Please, does it really matter if he was doing it over or underhandedly? What did the bellboy do next? That's all I care to know. Okay, gave some to the person inside the room. I said, hold it! Okay. That's better. What kind of statement is that? Please elaborate and give us a few more details. Oh, okay. I should probably ask him only one question at a time. Alright, we're gonna start with this something. He gave something to this person? Yeah. And what was this something? If I remembered what it was, I wouldn't be calling it a something, would I? But this implies that something was removed from the scene of the crime. Are you sure you really can't remember, Mr. Powers? I think it was something kinda small. This is an incredibly crucial piece of information. Please try to remember what it was. I'll try. In the meantime, let's talk about another point, namely what the bellboy did next. Oh, so after he gave the person inside the room the thing. Alright. Let's explore the other avenues here. So who took this something the bellboy handed off? Actually, I don't know. What do you mean? I'm sorry, but I only saw the person's arm. Only an arm? Then you're saying you didn't see the person's face? Yeah. I would like to summarize this testimony up to this point, if you don't mind. When the bellboy left the crime scene, he immediately went to the defendant's room. There, he handed a small item of some sort to the person inside. As for the person who received the item, all you could see was the person's arm. Yes, it was just like that. Mr. Edgeworth, is all this really that important? Of course, Your Honor. I think this is of the utmost importance. This is when whatever was removed from the crime scene was handed over to the client. Mr. Powers, please try to remember what it was the bellboy handed off. Well, let's see. I think it was... No. If you remember, please add it to your testimony. Yes, sir. Okay. If I saw it again, I could say for sure, but I think it was some sort of wooden statue. Okay. A statue? Yeah, it kind of looked like one, I guess. If I saw the actual thing again, I'd probably remember, you know? Why is Wolverine here? Because. Looks like for this trial to proceed, I'm going to have to come up with whatever this statue thing is and show it to him. I'm going to have to trust your instinct on this one and take a chance, Phoenix. Well, Mr. Powers, let's continue with your testimony. What did the bellboy do after that? Also, how are you, Lolly? Alright, Maybe? What was the point of that pregnant pause? Where did that objection come from? Well, speak up. It was me, Your Honor. What is it, Phoenix? I have a feeling that something bad is going to happen once I show this. Mr. Wright, if you have something to say, please spit it out. Yes, Your Honor. Okay, Phoenix, deep breath. Mr. Powers, the something you saw. Was it this item? Oh, hey, that's it. That's the something. Wow, Mr. Wright, you really figured it out. I recall we found this at Matt and God's mansion. At the defendant's house. Yeah. What does this mean? It's simple, Your Honor. Shelly the Killer assassinated Juan Corrida in his room. And then he stole this wooden bear from the scene of the crime. Then the bear being found at Mr. Ungod's mansion would mean. It goes without saying, Your Honor. Mr. Matt Ungod is the killer's client. Order, order, order. I said order! Mr. Wright, this is a most unfortunate turn of events for you. Yeah. Sorry, Mia. No, it's alright. Your judgment was sound. Actually, I figured the bear would come up. If not now, then it would have later on. Even if you hadn't shown it to the court, I'm sure your friend Edgeworth would have. I almost forgot that he knew about it too. I think it is clear that there is no need for us to continue this trial. I can't let this happen. I have to do something. There has to be something we've overlooked. Your Honor, a minute, please. Yes, Mr. Wright. There are still a few points left that we have not fully explored. What are you trying to pull? Oh, well. We can't have that now, can we? All right, Mr. Wright, what questionable point would you like to explore further? Fortunately, the person who received the bear, the only thing we can do really is the bear itself at this point, I think. I mean, we can try and find plot holes. We can try and find holes in Powers' testimony, but I don't know. The person who received the bear is way too obvious because of the whole Matt Ungard, it being in Matt Ungard's mansion thing. I mean, we can try the bear itself and see where we go. I think it's fairly obvious that the bear itself is very questionable. The bear, Mr. Wright. This was found at Mr. Ungard's mansion. However, Mr. Ungard was arrested at the hotel that night, which means that since the murder occurred, he has not had a chance to go home. Oh, I think Your Honor has already figured out what I'm trying to say. It is not possible that it was Mr. Ungard who took this bear to his mansion. Why, that's very true. We didn't consider that point, Mr. Wright. There was no way, time-wise, for the defendant to have taken this bear home. Phew. Disaster averted it. Oh, boy. Edgeworth! You haven't gotten the best of me yet, Mr. Wright. Huh? I remember it clear as day. I remember what you muttered to yourself at Ungard's mansion. We have this area completely surrounded. There's no way for him to escape. Can't believe it. That butler. All this time he was the killer. The killer and Ungard were working together, so to speak. And the killer was hiding at words English. And the killer was hiding at Ungard Mansion as its butler. What a bold move. The bear figurine was brought to the Ungard. God, I want to keep saying the Ungard Mansion. They never put a the in front of it. Back to Ungard. God, I am just all over the place today. Back to Ungard Mansion by the killer himself. When it looked like he was about to be arrested, Ungard had him do so. I assume because it would have been bad had the police found it during their investigation. Well, Mr. Wright, you've been quiet for a while now. This is too much. Isn't there anything I can attack at all? I have to try. I have to find something else. What will you do now, Mr. Wright? Do you plan to save Scum? I plan to expose a clearly shaky place in Mr. Powers' testimony. What? There is still another one? There is indeed, Your Honor, and it's quite a questionable point. What are you trying to pull? Oh, well, we can't have that. What? Which part are they talking about? All right, Mr. Wright, what questionable point would you like to explore further? Oh, never mind, it's this part. Mr. Powers' testimony, of course. I know that my testimony was kind of shaky, but your inanity stupefies me, Mr. Wright. We've already clarified all questionable points during the cross-examination just now. Wasting time like this, calling the testimony questionable. I'd say it's your head that's questionable here. Yes, I agree. The cross-examination went smoothly and there was nothing wrong with the testimony. Now then, I believe... But please, wait! You are being very persistent today. Because I can't let it end like this. I know my outburst just now was a little questionable. Questionable indeed. But there really are some questionable points left to discuss, Your Honor. What are you trying to pull? Oh, well, we can't have that. Okay. There's only 1 point left. There was one thing in Mr. Powers' testimony that was very unclear. And that is the identity of the person who received the bear. He gave something to the person inside the room. I'm sorry, but I only saw the person's arm. As long as we don't know who it was that took the bear, we can't be sure of... Huh? Ooh. What is it, Mr. Powers? If you're going to scream like that, then at least give us a good reason why. What's up, Kai? How you doing, bud? Sipping? Oh yeah, sorry. Actually, so I remembered. I remembered who took the bear. What? Really? I mean, I only saw his arm. But the arm. It was the Nickel Samurai's arm. I swear it. You've got to be kidding! Are you sure of that, Mr. Powers? Yeah, I'm sure it was the Nickel Samurai. I'm doing good, thank you for asking. Order, order. Looks like you've dug your own grave, yet again. How many times is that today? I've lost count. How many times is that today? I've lost count. So the person who took in this little bear was the Nickel Samurai. And as we all know, Matt on God is the Nickel Samurai. Alright. Thanks to the defense, we've made that all clear. Or all the clearer. I think we've heard enough. We now know why this bear figurine was at the defendant's mansion. As well as who it was that received the bear from the assassin in his room. Everything has become very clear. The client who hired the assassin to commit the murder was Mr. Matt on God. I see no reason for this trial to continue. Therefore, I will now hand down my verdict. Thank you, Your Honor, for your understanding. You see, Mr. Wright, you could not win against the truth, could you? Knew it would turn out this way. After all, what Edgeworth has stated is the truth. Any last objections, Mr. Wright? Well, do I? What should I do? Prolong it! I will now announce. There is only one way for me to drag this trial out. The only thing I have left is this one dirty trick. Your Honor, right now we have these two reasons to believe my client is the assassin's client. Reason number one, he accepted the bear figurine from the assassin. Reason number two, that very same figurine was found at the Ungard Mansion. However, it's possible this is all the work of a certain other person. What are you saying? What I am saying is, it's possible a different person is the killer's real client. The real client? Yes. Tisk tisk. Is that all you have? Now then, Mr. Wright, let's hear your theory. I think this is the only way we can go. Who do you say is the killer's real client and therefore the real murderer?
Take that!
Adrian Andrews? Yes, we already know that she tried to frame Matt on guard for the crime. By wearing a spare nickel samurai costume. Then the nickel samurai's arm that I saw. That could have very well been Miss Andrews. But what about Mr. Angad? If you would please recall yesterday's testimony. The defendant was taking a nap during the break period. That's right. Then finding this figure at Mr. Angad's mansion. It was a well-laid trap set by Miss Andrews. Mr. Edgeworth, what is your opinion on this? I can't even begin to count the flaws in the defense's logic. Besides which, there is no evidence to support it. However, I can't fully discount its possibility either. What is with this trial?
Come on, anyone can tell Ungar did it. I can't believe the defense would go so far as to pin the guilt on someone else. Yeah, unbelievable. It's not something petty, it's murder of all things.
This is to save Maya. This is to save Maya. Even if the whole world turns against me, this is one fight I can't give up on. Order! 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 All disruptive parties will be forced to leave the courtroom. Your Honor, for the benefit of the defense, I'm willing to play along with his what-if game. His what-if game, Mr. Edgeworth? The prosecution is prepared to challenge the defense's theory. Mr. Wright, even you must have thought it's strange and wondered. Why would the criminal want this little wooden bear? He's right. The killer did specially bring that bear to Unguard right away. Why do you ask? Is there something special about it? Absolutely. And I'm sure that once the court knows its significance, the true killer's identity will become crystal clear. Your Honor, the prosecution calls upon a witness who will clear all doubts against Miss Andrews. And who would that be? It's quite simple, Your Honor. Miss Adrian Andrews herself. I see. Well then, the court will take a short 10-minute recess. The prosecution will prepare its witness in that time. Yes, Your Honor. Oh, boy. Oh, man. Things have happened. All right, well. That's gonna be something. Hang on one second. That. Okay. Go.
Oh, I knew it was a good idea to hold her hostage. Don't you agree, Mr. Lawyer? But I never thought in your desperation you'd try to pin the guilt onto Adrian.
I swear this demon will pay.
Mr. Nick!
Pearls? Where's Mia?
I don't know. A really strong power suddenly called her away.
A really strong power?
Oh, Mr. Nick, your phone is...
From Gumshoe.
how's it going? Have you been hanging in there, pal?
Yeah, sort of. Barely found something to latch onto.
Phew, that's good, pal.
And what about you? Anything yet? Have you figured out where Tequila and Maya are?
We still don't have any leads, but
What? We don't have any more time!
if we just had one, even a single clue would be really helpful.
I was only able to come to this far because I kept thinking to myself, got to keep the trial going until Maya's been rescued. But have I just run out of luck this time? Is all our hope for naught? A tent! Huh? A tent? I could see a circus tent! Mia! Looks like Maya was unconscious until just a few minutes ago. As soon as she woke up, she called for me. So it was Maya that called you away. She's locked in a dusty little room right now, but I could see a circus tent outside the window about 300 feet away. Gumshoe! Is there a circus in town right now?
There's only one, pal. The very big circus.
Maya is somewhere within a 300-foot radius of the main tent.
What? Okay, hold on a sec, pal. Hey, draw a circle on that map about a 300-foot radius from the main tent. Hurry!
And? I could see a mailbox under the window, just outside. Gumshoe, there's also a mailbox.
Okay, what else?
What else, Mia? I'm sorry, but it was a very small window. Couldn't see anything else. It felt like I was in an old office building, maybe the 3rd floor or so.
I heard her. An old office building. Good stuff, pal. Okay, just hang in there. Just a little longer, pal. Wish us luck.
Good luck.
I'll call you later, so don't let your battery die, okay, pal?
Mia, Maya's not hurt, right? She's in a pretty bad state, Phoenix. She's being starved. Would you please hurry? Like we're out of time. Are you alright, Phoenix? It's only a matter of time before Maya's rescued. I can do this. I just have to make this trial last a little longer. Alright. Court will now reconvene. The killer, the man who murdered the victim, handed this to his client. From this, one obvious question arises. Why this particular item? I believe the answer to that question will provide us with the name of the real culprit. Now then, the prosecution calls the defendant's manager, Adrian Andrews, to the stand. Currently, the witness is accused of tampering and obstruction of justice. However, you have been called to the witness stand today to ascertain who exactly is guilty of murder. I understand. Very good. Now, have you ever seen this bear before, Miss Andrews? Of course I have. You have seen it before? That's right. It's only natural that the witness has. Miss Andrews, could you please enlighten the court to this bear's secrets? All right. Why? Why does she? The bear figurine. Actually, this is an elaborate puzzle. If you know the correct order, it can be taken apart one piece at a time. At its center is a small cavity, which is just enough room to store a small item. Because of its complexity, if you don't know the order, you can't open the bear. You really can't tell that it's a small jewelry box just by looking at it. Oh, this figurine. It's a container of sorts, is it? Yes. Looks can be deceiving, wouldn't you agree? Yes, this is superb craftsmanship. Oh, yes, I nearly forgot. You may begin your cross-examination, Mr. Wright. Looks like there really was something to that bear after all. Okay. Alright. An elaborate puzzle. Okay. Puzzle? That's right. But it looks like an ordinary figurine. True enough. The people who don't know, I'm sure they would never guess that this is a puzzle. So what kind of puzzle is this exactly? All right. So you can take it apart, and how would one go about doing that? Well, you first turn its tail to the right and then push it in. Oh, yes, I see. After that, the arms and legs are free to move and can be removed. Oh, this is most interesting. Boy and his new toy. It's like he's 5 all over again. Oh, don't mind me. Go ahead and carry on. I think he's lost it. So what do you find after you take the puzzle apart? Okay. And how do you know about this? I know because I was the one who bought it. Huh? It was a souvenir from when a friend and I went to Switzerland. Then this was a present from you. That's right. It was a puzzle in the shape of a bear, so I thought it would be perfect for Juan. So it was a present from Miss Andrews. Witness, let's continue with your testimony. No, Santy? Okay. Because there's complexity if you don't know the order, you can't open the bear. Yep. So who exactly knew how to solve this puzzle? Only the two of us, Juan and myself. It was a souvenir from Switzerland. So I doubt there are that many people with the same bear in this country. But this looks like it can be easily broken. Especially if someone wanted to get at what's inside. Well, it's a toy. But it can never be the same again once it's been broken. True enough. Okay. Who else knows that this bear is actually a small container or jewelry box? I never told anyone. And as long as Juan never told anyone either, then only the two of us knew. 2 of you, huh? And of course that means Mr. Ungard didn't know, right? I think this is about all I'm going to get for now. All right. Well, Mr. Wright, I think even you have come to realize. Huh? That there's one very important fact we have uncovered, and that is this. This bear is actually a jewelry box. Now that we have agreed to this point, there's only one logical question that can come next, and that is this. What is inside this box? What's inside? That's right. That's what we are going to find out next. Witness. Yes? You are the only one who can open this. Please. There's a painful silence hanging over the courtroom. All eyes are on Miss Andrews now as she solves the puzzle and takes the bear apart. I've opened it. Is this what you wanted? What is that? It looks like a note. I don't think we need to guess at what that is, do we, Mr. Wright? It's the suicide note. Yep. Oh boy. The suicide note. The suicide note left by Juan Corrida's former manager, Celestin Pax. Until now, no one knew of its whereabouts, but just as we suspected, it was hidden. Hidden by the victim, Juan Corrida himself. It seems Celeste Impax had a very beautiful handwriting, and she just as beautifully signed her own name on this document. This is most definitely the note she left right before she committed suicide. Oh boy, what does it actually say? Order! Witness, did you know about this? Yes, I did. I heard about it all. I heard all about it from Juan. When I discovered his body, I looked for the bear. I wanted to destroy the note before it became public, but I couldn't find it anywhere. Because it had already been taken by the killer. Everything is going at Mr. Edgeworth's pace. So now that the suicide note has been found, what's the next logical question? What is written on the note? That's right. At least, that's what I would think. Now then, I believe it is only appropriate for the contents of this note be made known. I can't stop you, can I? I went through so much just to get my hands on it. I was going to burn it for her sake. I'm deeply sorry, but I can't allow you to persuade me to stop. Your Honor, if you could please read the contents of the note aloud. Very well. The judge's voice rang loud and clear through the deathly silent courtroom. In her note, Celeste Impacts left us a record of all that had happened to her. About being used and then thrown away by Ungard. About being engaged to Corrida and Ungard's role in destroying that. And about how she decided in her despair to end it all. And that's all Miss Impacts had to say. There's one thing I would like to say here. The prosecution has no interest in slandering Mr. Ungard. Then what? Our intention, Your Honor, is to establish a motive for murder. Isn't that correct, witness? Yes. On the night of the murder, Juan was going to make the contents of the note public. After the post-ceremony show, he was going to hold a press conference. My word! Matt Ungard values above all else his refreshing like a spring breeze image. Which is why he had to stop this note from being made public. At any cost. Right? Well, we're pretty screwed at this point. Oh boy. It's all falling apart. How terrible. What a selfish person. Blah, blah, blah. I guess there's slimeball lawyers out there who will defend these creeps too. There's no room for doubt here. Mr. DeKiller's client's goal was to obtain the suicide note. And the only person who needed this note that badly is the defendant. Let's not forget that the barrel with the note inside was found at the defendant's house. It seems that we have come to the truth at last. The defendant's motives were entirely selfish. He deserves no sympathy from anyone. How am I supposed to escape from this one? Why the hesitation, Phoenix? Gumshoe hasn't called yet, so you know what you must do. I know, I have to carry on and buy him some more time. Okay, there are two deadly pieces of evidence. The figurine and the suicide note. Maybe somehow I can find a way out of this situation through one of those. The gavel is already in the judge's hand. Phoenix, hurry! Suicide note of the figurine. Which one of these should I pursue? So... Suicide note. Ooh, man. What can we actually pursue with the suicide note at that point? So... We can't say, oh, it wasn't written by Celeste Impacts. Nope. She signed it. The figurine... Oh my god, dude, Ooh, man. This is a tough one. Oh, I don't know what to do. Hmm. I'm gonna go with the figurine. I can't think of any reason the suicide note would be worthwhile to pursue. Please wait, Your Honor. Oh man, look at that lawyer.
He's still going at it?
It's like he doesn't care that he's trying to get a killer off the hook. The assassin took this with him from the crime scene after murdering Mr. Corrida. At the request of his client, of course. So, what's your point, Mr. Wright? I don't think it's possible that Mr. De Killer's client was Matt Ungard. In fact, I think there's a contradiction here. You can't tell by just looking at this bear that this bear is really a jewelry box. The chances that Matt Ungard thought that the note was inside this bear are 0 to none. Oh, I didn't think of it that way. Exactly, but I did think of it that way, and I thought it was rather strange. After all, there is no reason why Mr. Ungard would ever want a jewelry box like this. Order, order, order! You make a valid point, Mr. Wright. Mr. Edgeworth, what is your opinion? It was just a flash, but I think I did rather well on this one. Unfortunately, I think he believes differently. I believe a show of appreciation is in order. Huh? The defense seems to be in love with wishing more despair upon itself. I would like to direct the court's attention to this. What is that? It is a very small video camera, Your Honor. This type of camera is commonly used as means of spying. Spying? What the? Thought that spy camera was in my possession. Matt Ungard and the victim both thought of the other as their biggest rivals. They even went so far as to use this type of item to find each other's weaknesses. And the victim, Juan Corrida, was being spied on. His personal life was being watched by none other than Matt Ungard. Yep, and that's going to lead to the bear, which we aren't going to be able to do with it. And we aren't going to be able to... They're just going to go with the receipt that Matt Ungard bought the bear, and it's just going to go from there. Order! Order! Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor? You, don't tell me you knew about your client's spying activities. Well, sort of. Sort of is not an acceptable answer, Mr. Wright. I see you are confused, Mr. Wright. You're probably thinking, but I have the camera that was in the stuffed bear's eye. But this camera that I have is not the same one. Last night I searched the victim's house on a hunch. Using this. Choose Bug Sweeper. By the way, Mr. Wright, the defendant's fingerprints were found on this camera. Matt Ungard's fingerprints were on there? Well, Phoenix, looks like those cameras were hidden all over the place, huh? What am I supposed to say to that evidence? I think this is the end. It's fairly obvious that Mr. Ungard learned of this suicide note through this. He was watching the victim all along. Got me good this time. Don't have anything to counter that. Oh boy. Hey, now what's that lawyer thinking? Mommy, is that man the bad killer guy?
Just stop. Don't look at him. That way he's sweating just so nasty.
Phoenix. Yes, Chief? Have you figured out what you're going to do next yet? What I'm going to do next? Does running away like a frightened child work? I know it seems like Mr. Edgeworth is very close to putting the lid on this case, but in his eagerness to prove his point, he forgot one very important thing. Well, what is it, Mia? There's a piece of evidence that he really should investigate. Something he should investigate? I would really hate to see the good prosecutor get scolded for not remembering to look into the item when he had the chance. Why are you speaking in riddles all of a sudden? All right, I think this time we finally understand everything. Well, Mr. Wright, you don't have any further objections, do you? What is this piece of evidence that Mia is talking about? Can I figure out what it is that still needs to be looked at, or should I let it go? What do we even present? Oh, God. We're gonna try, but I have an objection, Your Honor. That was about the weakest objection I've ever heard, Mr. Wright.
Objection!
Your Honor, the defense has no intention of letting this go so easily. You're beginning to sound desperate. That's just your imagination, Your Honor. Mr. Edgeworth, this is not like you at all. In your eagerness to prove your point, you've forgotten one very important thing. Hey, isn't that what I just said? So you're telling me that I forgot something? You're so close, Mr. Edgeworth. But there's something you really should examine about this piece of evidence. All right, shit. What the hell do I do? Okay. No. The transmitter? Maybe? The transmitter feels like the only thing close enough. I'm gonna try it. I don't think it, I'm not 100% certain, but we're gonna see. Well, Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, I do believe some special examination is needed, but I think the item should be examined as the defense's gray matter. Whoops. Okay. Alright. Can I figure out what's still... Yeah, just present it. It's fine. We good in the hood, dude. Alright. Blah, blah. Okay. Alright, what did he forget? Not the other spy camera. Credit card receipt's not going to do anything. Dude, I have no idea. The other spy camera, maybe? No. What am I missing? Because I don't know why, but I have a weird feeling about this. Nope, not that. So he's talking about the camera, right? I doubt it's the stuff there, but... What? What is the critical point that he missed in his last thing that he said about the camera being there so that he could see... So he could see Kodita's every move and so that he knew about the... figurine. Only Kodita and Andrews know how to open it, maybe? No. Nope. The note? That is Miss Impax's suicide note, right? I have no idea why it's this, but we're gonna see. Who knows? I mean, sure, this suicide note was found inside this bear. But this bear was in my possession until only a few moments ago. Which means the handwriting on the suicide note has yet to be analyzed. Oh. We're going that deep. We're going that deep. Woo boy. Oh. So, as to whether this pivotal piece of evidence was really written by Miss Impax or not, that has yet to be even remotely confirmed. Oh my god. He is pulling at literally the smallest of strings, dude. Mr. Wright, are you saying the suicide note is a fake? Miss Andrews? You were the one who tried to pin this murder on Mr. Ungard. Who's to say you didn't create a fake suicide note and put it into this bear? How dare you? Your Honor, the defense is indiscriminately accusing the witness again. There is no evidence linking the witness to the suicide note whatsoever. But if this is a fake, then the witness is the only person who could have made it. What? Recall the witness's testimony concerning this figurine. The only person other than the victim who could solve the puzzle is the witness herself. Ow! Miss Andrews, you wrote this note, didn't you? You wrote it so you could use it to frame Matt Ungard. I did no such thing. Right, if you're going to pronounce this suicide note a fake, then show the court this court some evidence to support your theory. Mr. Edgeworth, you were the one who presented this scrap of paper as evidence. That means the burden of proof lies with you, the prosecution. That's enough. Oh my god. Dude, that was a wacky exchange. I love it. Mr. Edgeworth, can you confirm the handwriting on this suicide note? It is as the defense has stated. The handwriting has yet to be analyzed. If that's the case, it seems that we yet again have reached a point where a verdict is impossible. That's impossible! This isn't good, Phoenix. The judge is going to carry this trial over one more day. I don't think Maya will physically be able to make it another day. What's up, Gaming Beamer? How you doing, bud? I didn't want to have to do this, but I don't have a choice. I request that both the prosecution and defense further investigate. Handwriting analysis, my butt! That's just what the lawyer's trying to buy more time. Ungard is guilty. Look, any idiot can tell you that. I think we've reached the end of the line. Guilty! 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 Everybody's cheering. Oh. Oh my god, what kind of actual wacko timing is that? What is that sound? It's Gumshoe. Hello, Gumshoe? What is with him? And what's with that sigh? Where's Maya? What happened to the killer?
He got away.
What?
I'm sorry, pal. I really am. I don't know what to say besides I'm sorry. I wish there was some way to make it up to you. I really do.
Anyway, what's going on?
We found his hideout, pal. But the two of them were already gone.
This is terrible.
I'm going to keep looking for them, pal. Don't you worry. Just need a little more time. But don't tell me we don't have any more.
Guilty! Guilty! Everybody cheer it, they are guilty! 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 Man on guard is guilty! Man on guard is guilty! Did you hear that? They're calling for his head.
Mr. Wright, I can't. For us to come this far and... Oh!
What is it?
Let me talk to Mr. Edgeworth.
I can't do that! Mr. Wright, would you please get a hold of yourself? Yes, Your Honor. I'm about to end today's proceedings. You may take your phone calls after. Hold on, Your Honor. Edgeworth, catch! He just throws the phone at him!
Mr. Edgeworth. Please, you've got to buy us some time, or some more time.
Court is in session. Oh my god, he just hung up on him! Edgeworth! I'm sorry, Your Honor. You were saying... Mr. Wright, this is a court of law. I'm sorry, Your Honor, but... I am reluctant to do this. However, it appears that I have no choice but to suspend proceedings until tomorrow. This time I really can't do anything. Court is now adjourned for the day. Oh my god!
Objection!
Oh! What? What do you mean? Please wait, Your Honor. Edgeworth? What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? I humbly request another 30 minutes of Your Honor's time. For what purpose? We can perform the necessary tests on this piece of evidence in that time. But can you really obtain your results in 30 minutes? I believe we can, Your Honor. But wouldn't it be better if we adjourn for today and then reconvene tomorrow? 30 minutes. Please, Your Honor. That's all I am asking for. Please, Your Honor. Very well. At the prosecution's request, this court will now take a 30-minute recess. But be advised that I will not allow another recess today. I'm not sure if this is helping or hurting us. The court will now take its final recess of the day. Oh my god! Edward pulling out the shit, dude. Oh my god, he is... Okay, long story short, it's a murder trial, and somebody got kidnapped. Basically, we're being blackmailed, more or less. Or actually, no. One of our friends got kidnapped in order to prove a killer innocent, and that's what we're trying to avoid from doing. And we're holding on as long as we can, so that the police can find an assassin who literally kidnapped a friend of ours. That's what we're doing. Right, well, what's going on with Maya's situation? The killer, it looks like he got away again. 30 minutes? We can't find her in that time. Kangaroo Court. What's up, Tommy? Report!
Ah, is that Mr. Edgeworth?
We don't have time, just spit it out.
Right. It looks like we just missed them, sir. But the killer left a few things behind by accident in his rush to get away.
A few things? Can we use any of them as evidence?
Ho ho ho, I thought you'd ask, pal.
Huh?
I've got these things he left with me right now, and I'm on my way over.
Really? That's odd. Any items like that are usually sent to the crime lab first.
We don't have time to wait for those guys, sir. When those guys weren't looking, I swiped the stuff and ran.
What?
Well, I'm not a detective anymore, so I had to. I'm really sorry, sir, but I've got to put the law on hold for now.
Sounds bad. I hope he doesn't get in too much trouble over this.
With my hunk of junk car, I'd say I'll be there in about 20 minutes, sir. Don't worry, I'll be there. Wait for me.
Alright, just get here in one piece.
I'm on a mission and no one can stop me now, sir. No one. I'm pulling out all the stops and running every red light.
Items left by the murderer, huh? Maybe there's something among them that will be decisive enough to end this. Hey, what's wrong? Detective Gumshoe, answer me!
No one can stop me.
What happened? It sounded like he had an accident. I'm guessing his cell phone broke as well. What was he thinking? We've got to hurry and call for help. But we have no idea where he is. His cell phone is broken, and he wasn't driving a patrol car, so no radio either. What's up, Primal Tears? How you doing, bud? Also, if we don't get to those items before they do, the police will take possession of them. No, we can't let that happen. Well, if there is a way we can find out where he is, then we stand a chance. Why, oh why did Gumshoe have to get into an accident now? Is there any way to find out exactly where he is at this moment? And that's right, there is a way! What? How? I'm sure we can find out where Detective Gumshoe is through this. What's up, Zeal? How you doing, bud? The radio transceiver? My attorney's badge? Maybe? Didn't he have a camera with him? No, he couldn't have. I mean, this is probably the closest thing, but he's not in a patrol car, so he wouldn't have a radio signal. I think this is the closest thing we can do. Right, we're not in the middle of a mock trial here. Guess this won't work, huh? I guess it's up to me. Alright, I will think of something on my end. Don't get your hopes up too high, but I'll try my best. Did I say something wrong? Edgeworth. What is it? I don't have any right to judge anyone ever again. He has one thing on him. That's fine, it's whatever. I know my client is guilty, but what I'm doing now, I'm pinning the guilt onto someone totally innocent and using the evidence to do so. Might be my turn to say, Defense Attorney Phoenix Wright chooses death. Right. It doesn't suit someone like you to cry useless tears. Whether you did your job well or not, that can only be seen after the verdict has been decided. The verdict?
Is Prosecution Edgeworth here?
Yes, bailiff.
There's a phone call for you, sir. They said it was extremely urgent.
They're probably finished with the handwriting analysis. I have to go take this call. In the meantime, think hard about what it is you must do. Well, would the radio have worked then? He has the bug on him, so the transmitter would work. But then why was picking the transmitter wrong in that case? Weird. Maybe it was intended to be that way. I mean, it doesn't really matter in the end all, to be honest. Not transmitter? Court will now reconvene. I assume both sides are ready. Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor. I don't know what happened when you get it wrong. I assume I did. But it's whatever. I can understand the defense acting like this. However, why do you also seem distraught, Mr. Edgeworth? That is... It's nothing, Your Honor. What's wrong with Edgeworth? Looks like something unexpected just happened to him. Now then, Mr. Edgeworth, if you could please tell the court the results of the handwriting analysis on Miss Impact's suicide note. Yes, Your Honor. Unfortunately, we have discovered that the suicide note is a forgery. Wait, what? What? What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? This note was not written by Miss Impact herself. It is a fake. Wait, it actually is a fake? Order. Mr. Edgeworth, would you care to explain what is going on? If this was not written by Miss Impacts, then who wrote it? We would need more time to do a more detailed analysis, however. It appears that the handwriting matches that of the victim, Mr. Juan Corrida. Mr. Corrida? Well. It looks like Miss Impacts never left a suicide note after all. She never wrote anything about On Guard. However, Your Honor, even though the suicide note is indeed a fake, Mr. On Guard could not have known that, so that facts remain unchanged. Acting under the assumption that it was real, he had plotted to possess it. That does sound very plausible. This theory that On Guard has no idea that the suicide note was fake. Something seems a little wrong with it. The defense believes that the theory that the prosecution has stated contradicts testimony. If everything the prosecution has proven up to this point is true, then it's impossible for Mr. On Guard to not have known it was a fake. Wait, then it's impossible for Mr. On Guard to not have known it was a fake. It's impossible for Mr. On Guard to not have known it was a fake. God, I hate that double negative. So, we're basically saying it's impossible for Mr. On Guard to... Oh. Well, that's silly. That's a silly answer. I understand why, but that's still a silly answer. Let's see. It's impossible for Mr. On Guard to not have known it was a fake. God. So we could not have... Just the sentence is killing me. It's the... Like... Then it's impossible for Mr. On Guard to not have known it was a fake. So we're saying that it was possible for him to know it was a fake? Fucking sentence, dude, just kills me. We're not saying that it was impossible for Mr. On Guard to know it was a fake. We're saying that it was impossible for him to not have known. So he had to have known it was a fake. Wait, what? Aren't we just flipping it back toward... Maybe Celeste's photo? I believe that's even more important than finding out if this note is real or not. Okay. Alright, it's not that. Okay. Me too. All of you, shut up. Okay. Actually, there is something I would like to ask. I mean, I could always go back. Should I know the answer? Just let it roll. I can do it. I don't know what it would be. Possible Mr. Guard to not have known it was a fake. Via what though? Camera? What is this little item called again? A video camera, Your Honor. Well, a very small one, but... Oh, that's right, a camera. Ah, you kids and your fancy toys nowadays. Mr. Edgeworth, earlier you claimed that Mr. Ungard knew of the existence of this note because he was spying on the victim. Isn't that right? If that were true, then this means that Mr. Ungard would have known that the victim had forged the note. Oh, I get it. I got you. So then, the defendant knew this suicide note was a fake. And if that's true, then the situation has suddenly changed in a very dramatic way. Exactly, Your Honor. The prosecution's theory as to what Mr. Ungard's motive for murder was, it has suddenly disappeared into thin air. But, Your Honor, it's not as if Mr. Ungard monitored Mr. Corita 24 hours a day. Perhaps the victim wrote the note in a place Mr. Ungard didn't know of. Well, right back at you, Mr. Edgeworth. Why don't you show us some proof that the victim made the forgery at an unknown place? Order! Mr. Edgeworth! It looks like this time it is you who has dug his own grave. As I figured. As you figured? As I figured, it came down to this after all. Mr. Edgeworth, you are not making any sense. When I heard the results of the handwriting analysis, I thought this might happen. The question is, what next? What next? If the prosecution can't prove Mr. Ungard's motive through evidence, then we must prove it from another angle. Well, I agree with you there. Your Honor, the prosecution would like to call a witness to the stand at this time. Oh, well, that's fine. However, this witness is a little unusual. Edgeworth stuttering? This is not like him at all. Unusual? Well, what sort of witness is this person, Mr. Edgeworth? This witness is one who's perfectly fit to answer once and for all the question of who was it that hired Shelley the killer to commit murder? That's impossible! Who in the... No such person exists who can answer that question with such certainty. Yes, Mr. Edgeworth, who is this witness? It's, yes, go on, who is it? The man himself, Mr. Shelley the Killer. Oh, Mr. the Killer. Wait, Shelley the Killer? How are you? I am doing just fine, bud. How are you doing? Yeah, it's hard to get in, it's hard to show up right now at this game because there's a lot of context that is missed. So, it's kind of an unfortunate circumstance of this game, but... So, you mean the killer? I mean the assassin? Yeah, yes, yes, Your Honor. He's coming here, to the witness stand. Well, yes, in a manner of speaking. I recognize that this is a very unusual circumstance, so I ask for your permission. Well, Mr. Wright. Yes? Is this all right with you? Do I have a choice here? I can't really do much else to drag this trial out. The defense has no objections, Your Honor. I wonder if it really is all right to do this. Very well then, the prosecution calls its witness to the stand. Edgeworth, is there no other way left to us? Now then, witness. Your name and your, occupation, please. What do you mean? Very good, sir. My name is Shelly the Killer, and I'm a professional assassin. I say. What is going on here? Your Honor, how can you remain so calm, and what is the meaning of this two-way radio? Actually, Your Honor, it was delivered to me just now, and it came with a condition. As long as we do not trace its source, Mr. the Killer will testify to this court. So this must be what the urgent phone call he got earlier was about. Oh no, this will not do. I cannot allow this in my court. First of all, we can't even be sure this is really Mr. the Killer himself. Witness, please present some sort of proof that you are in fact Shelly the Killer. I understand. Please wait a second.
I'm so hungry!
Maya! Maya! Voice, Mr. Wright, can you confirm anything from this? The defense has no objections to this person. We are satisfied that this man is indeed Shelly the Killer. It looks like we've run into yet another unexpected turn of events. I'm just gonna not do like the muffled voice for the radio. It's gonna be too much for this entire testimony. Well, it doesn't seem like we have too many choices under these circumstances, so... Now then, witness. There's one thing I would like to confirm before we speak of anything else. And what will that be? At the request of a client, you killed Mr. Juan Corrida. Is this correct? It is as you say. I did indeed kill Mr. Corrida.
Go!
Now that we have answered that, let's move on to the name of your client. Very well. This is all just a bad dream. Yes, that's it. A bad dream. Shelly the Killer. What is he going to say? About my client. There's something I must first state. To an assassin, nothing is more important than the trust between the client and himself. And that is the reason I am here today on this witness stand. It is my wish that you grasp this concept before I give the name of my client. Okay. Oh my god, this is happening. This is almost as bad as the parrot. Right? I did notice that, actually. The killer, Mr. the Killer, words. Mr. the Killer seems to be a very clever man. I'd almost say he seems to be mocking us. Well, he may appear to be our enemy, Your Honor. Mr. the Killer is only stating the truth. He is no hypocrite. He has always stood by this one belief. You mean about this trust between his clients and himself thing? It seems to be a level of trust beyond what people like me can comprehend. Well, Mr. Wright, are you ready to cross-examine the witness? Yes, Your Honor. There's no way to know what's coming next, so stay cool and collected, Phoenix. Ooh, boy. Alright. We can hear anything you have to say later. Can you please just tell us your client's
I don't think you understand your place, Mr. Attorney. I said this is something I must first state. Do you know what the word first means?
Sorry, go on. Well, it appears this is one witness you can't badger, Mr. Wright. That's only because you don't know about Maya's situation. Alright, to an assassin is more important than the trust between the client himself. The trust between you and your client.
I provide my services in a fast and efficient manner. In exchange, I trust that my clients are discreet about me and my identity. If too many people knew about knew my face, it would be quite troublesome.
And that is why you were testifying in this manner?
This is the first time one of my clients has ever been accused of murder. I must preserve the killer name so my clients can trust me.
But couldn't someone stab you in the back and break your trust?
It has never happened before, but if it ever did,
yes?
that person wouldn't be my client for very long. They would certainly...
That's enough,
Please, no more. Very well, it was only a hypothetical anyway.
And that's the reason I'm here today on the witness stand. Okay? That seems a little strange to me. I mean, you're about to tell us the name of your client. I would think that this would be very bad for them.
It doesn't matter to me. This client has already broken the rules and acted outside of their prescribed role.
Their role?
This person tried to implicate another of the crime in order to save themselves. And this is a trespass that cannot be forgiven.
You? Who gives you the right to be so high and mighty?
To the gentleman who spoke just now. Excuse me, but would you care to die?
Ah, no, I didn't say anything. The judge had better watch himself. Switching between the judge and the killer is hard. They both have the same sort of rasp that I put into them, but one's lower and one's higher. Alright. We understand, so please tell us the name of your client.
I'm afraid I cannot do that. I still have a few things to say before I do.
Ugh, that egomaniac. Egomaniac. I was gonna say enomaniac, but it's egomaniacal.
It's no good for your health to be so aggravated. You won't live very long if you let everything bother you.
Somehow that coming from an assassin makes it less than comforting. I don't really care about all this extra fluff. Just tell us the name already. Patience, try to calm down a little. It's important to try and understand his mindset. He seems very steadfast and closed, so you're going to have to work to get him to talk. I'm not his therapist, you know. I'm not his therapist, you know.
There's something I must first state.
Oh, okay. It's the whole thing again. Okay, so... Seems very steadfast and close, so you're going to have to work to get him to talk. Okay. What? I mean, I get that, but the heck am I? What am I presenting on this? His card? I want to press this part again. The trust between you and your client to provide my services in a fast and efficient manner. In exchange, I trust that my clients are discreet about me and my identity. Those are the roles and duties that an assassin and his client are to carry out. I'm sorry, but I was wondering about something you just said. Oh, Nice. You said that your client had already broken the rules. Sorry, we had to press and then go back to this. Cool.
A person who frames another is the worst kind of human.
And that's why you feel you can betray this person?
I have no trust relation with a client who can't understand their assigned role.
Just my luck. An assassin with a conscience. Who would have figured?
Now then, everyone, do you think you can understand my logic?
This case just keeps getting better and better.
If you can't, then I'm afraid we can't proceed.
Everyone understands your point, I think. Really.
In that case, I believe I'm prepared to disclose the information you seek.
You have made it crystal clear that you value trust over all else. I believe we are ready.
Excellent. And that is the reason I'm here today on this witness stand.
Okay. What? Okay. Okay, I guess we're going back to this. What is it? Now I can't bring myself to ask the client's name. If you can't ask it, Mr. Wright, then I will. Witness. What is the name of your client who requested the murder of Mr. Juan Corrida?
That person's name is... Adrian Andrews.
I had a feeling! I had a goddamn feeling that this is gonna happen. Oh, when that forged note happened, I was like, oh, this is bad. What? Witness! That's not who you told me it was earlier.
Pray tell, what are you talking about, Mr. Prosecutor? I should think I know my own client, and it is Adrian Andrews.
What? Something's not right with this at all. This can't be! On the phone earlier! What's going on here? My guess is that Mr. DeKiller just stabbed Mr. Edgeworth in the back. Stabbed Edgeworth in the back? I'm sure in order to get an audience with this court, Mr. DeKiller told him a different name. Met on guard, perhaps? I knew it. This is outrageous! I was deceived! This witness is telling a very serious lie.
But you are the one who summoned this witness.
You, Shelley DeKiller?
My testimony is the truth. The defendant at the moment is Matt on guard, am I correct? All I wish to do is help procure his acquittal.
Wow. All of a sudden it feels like we can actually win this. Yeah. I feel like that DeKiller is still like, I think it's still on guard at the end of the day. And I feel like Adrian Andrews is taking the fall for this. Like, hard. Provided this suicide note, which is a forgery created by the victim. Furthermore, there is a possibility that the defendant himself knew it was a fake. But most definitive of all, we have heard from the assassin himself the name of his client. Mr. DeKiller's client who requested the murder was not the defendant at all. No! With all this evidence, it is obvious to me that this means that Mr. Madangard is innocent.
I seem to have caused you all a bit of confusion. Please, continue your discussion and call me when you have reached a verdict.
Bailiff, please bring Miss Adrian Andrews in immediately. What now? With the way this is going, a guard will be found innocent. This may be our last chance to save Maya. Yeah, but Edgeworth is right. DeKiller is lying. And on guard, my client, I know he's guilty. Can I live with myself if I win this?
Who would have believed that the prosecution's own witness would have absolved the defendant?
Your Honor, the prosecution requests permission to further question the witness. Shelly the Killer is certainly lying under oath.
It wasn't me! Listen, everyone, please! That testimony just now, it was all one big lie.
Sanders, the suicide note may have been a fake, but that man, Matt, he's the reason Celeste died. And Juan's death, it was all because he got pulled into Matt's twisted world. That testimony just now, you have to believe me. It was a horrible, horrible lie. But Mr. the Killer himself has testified. He has named you as his client.
No, that's not true!
Also, there's quite a bit of evidence that points to you. The knife and the button, donning the nickel samurai costume.
But that's...
You even have a motive. We know that Miss Celeste Impacts was a large part of your life. You wanted to follow her, and you wanted revenge against the two who hurt her. I would say you have plenty of reason to want them both dead.
No... Mr. Wright!
Huh?
You know the truth? Tell them! Tell them the real story, who the real killer is. Tell them! Please, help me.
Yes, I know the truth. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. I believe we have reached the end of this trial. Therefore, I ask the defense for any final words or opinions. I have to decide. Do I take the not guilty verdict and save Maya? Or do I throw this chance away and wait for Gumshoe's new evidence? What am I supposed to do? Oh, come on! What kind of choice is this?
Nick!
I think for the sake of seeing what it is, I want to see what requesting the verdict would look like. I know it's not the right answer, but I still want to see what it says, despite that. So, because I'm genuinely curious. Your Honor, the defense requests that... It's no use. I can't. It feels like I've lost my voice. Phoenix. Can't do it, Mia. I can't accept a not guilty. You are a lawyer. I know. But Matt on Guard is a killer. A murderer. I can't let him get away with this. I can't let someone else take the fall. I let Miss Andrews be convicted, then I am no better than on Guard. And even though I don't want to admit it, I have to face the fact that it is because of Edgeworth that I know the real truth. He could have gotten on Guard convicted so many times over, but he never took a single one of those chances. If I take this verdict right now, I'd be betraying his trust. His trust? Never thought about it until now. I trust him? Yes, you do. Mr. Wright, your opinion, please. The defense requests that we be allowed to further question Mr. the Killer. Am I hearing you correctly, Mr. Wright? Right. But, that witness has cleared your client through his testimony. Your job here is done. I'm not done yet. To see through witnesses' lies and find the truth. That is my job, Your Honor. I think I'm okay with actually sticking with this right here, because that was pretty good. Still more evidence to look at. And I'm sure that once those pieces arrive here in this very courtroom, a miracle will occur. Very well. The trial will continue. Mr. Edgeworth, please re-establish connection with Mr. the Killer. Right away, Your Honor.
Has a verdict been reached?
Before that, we would like to talk with you a little more.
About? All you needed from me was the name of my client. What else would you need me for?
Well, actually, we would like to hear everything you know about this case. That is how things are, usually done. What is he talking about? Usually done? But what shall we have him testify about now? Mr. the Killer, if you don't mind, please testify about your client in more detail.
You legal people and your procedures. Is it any wonder no one likes to go to court?
Alright, so we're gonna try to find... So basically, he's gonna talk about the client. We're gonna try to find, any kind of contradiction about Adrian Andrews that we can, so that we prove that Adrian Andrews is not the killer's client. That's essentially what we're doing.
As I've already stated quite a few times, Adrian Andrews is my client. However, one thing I simply cannot overlook is tampering with the scene of the crime. My client did it to frame another for the crime, while pretending to be the first person to discover the body and enter the scene. Adrian Andrews already knew from the very beginning that Juan Corrida was dead. But even more appalling is the creation and planting of the knife and button. That act is what I was referring to when I said the client had broken the rules.
Okay?
This is a most unexpected turn of events for the, 5th time now. However, this time everything has finally been revealed.
Objection!
Just a second, Your Honor.
Yes, Mr. Edgeworth?
We still have the cross-examination to do.
But you don't need to question testimony like this. Do you, Mr. Wright?
Your Honor, the defense will question the witness.
As if I have a choice here. Why? What this witness has said is nothing but beneficial to the defense's case. If you scrutinize the testimony, then
I'll expose the lies in that oh-so-beneficial testimony, I suppose.
I don't understand what's going on anymore.
That makes 2 of us. Like how he just gives up and just is like, eh. Alright, let's see here. Okay. As I already stated a few times, Adrian Andrews is my client. Let's roll. Alright, let's see.
What is it, Mr. Wright?
If I press him the wrong way, it might raise suspicions on his end. But I have to do something to waste more time. Witness, about requesting a hit.
Yes?
How much is your fee?
I see you are also quite a dark-hearted man, Mr. Attorney.
Huh?
If you would like to talk business, we can do so after the trial.
Ah, no. I'm not thinking of hiring...
Mr. Wright.
Yes?
You want to kill me. You want me dead, don't you?
What? Why would you think something like that, Your Honor?
Guilty, Mr. Phoenix Wright. You are hereby declared guilty.
Witness, let's continue. Why did you disclose the name of your client? They are your clients, are they not?
You want me dead? Ah!
Don't kill me! Okay. I would think that the most people wouldn't be able to overlook a person hiring another to kill.
If I had a problem with such a thing, I wouldn't be very effective at my job.
Ah, yeah. Well, a change in occupation might be good for you.
However, I will say this. Even though I am the one that does the deed, my clients are always the real guilty party.
That goes without saying, Mr. the Killer.
And their fate is to live with the knowledge of their guilt on their shoulders. However, my client this time thought that they could run away from their guilt.
Okay. Are you talking about the button and the knife?
Yes, my business card.
Oh, this card.
So that no one has to waste their time, including the police. I always make it a point to make things as easy as possible.
You try to make things easy?
My business card makes it very easy to identify who carried out the service.
He's pretty devoted to his work.
But to disregard everything, to go and stab the deceased with a knife, and even hide my card from sight, that is something I cannot overlook.
It's really hard to tell if he's being truthful or not without him being here. Pretend to be the person who discovered the body of the... So you're saying most clients wouldn't do such a thing?
That's correct. Usually, most people try to create an alibi for themselves. If you should use my services, Mr. Attorney, I would suggest you plan for your alibi too.
No, I already told you. I have no intention of using your services, ever. Why does he keep looking at me like I'm the one on trial here? From the very beginning?
That's correct. From before my client visited the room. All of my clients know precisely what the situation is at all times.
Wonder if that's really true. That's odd. Alright, we're just gonna go through these two presses, and then I believe this is the one we're gonna want to do. Why do you think your client did that?
What do you mean by why?
Well, fiddling around at the scene of the crime is pretty risky. And why would someone who has requested a murder go to the crime scene anyway? That is true.
I assume it was probably done to frame Mr. On Guard.
If that's the case, then why didn't the person just request that you do it?
Sadly, that is not possible.
Huh?
My job is to kill, that is all, and to leave my business card behind, naturally. The business card is so my clients may escape blame. To protect them is my duty. Even if they say it's for revenge, setting someone else up to take your fall.
Okay. And that's all you have to testify?
Yes, and I pray that I will never be called to the stand again.
Again? As in you plan to continue?
I must, as I have yet to find a person to take my place and become the fourth successor. Actually, how would you like a new life, Mr. Attorney?
Excuse me? No. I'm fine. Really.
Are you really now?
I wonder what kind of man the judge thinks I am now. What are you going to do now, Phoenix? All I can do is expose the lies. That's true. However, you realize that will be very bad for our client, right? Ugh, I'm so confused. But the one thing I know for sure is that I can't let this trial end yet.
As I've already stated quite a few times, Adrian...
Yeah. We know that. Okay. Adrian just already knew from the very beginning that Juan Corrida was dead. So the only thing... Knew from the very beginning. That's the part that matters the most. Maybe she couldn't have because of the press conference? I don't know if that would work, though. Hang on. Oh, not that. I was thinking along the lines of like she wouldn't have known from the very beginning because she was doing all that work and shit. But if you were to go that, then the killer could said, well, I told her before we even got to the place that this was happening this way. So we need something more concrete. Maybe the camera because it was set at 8 p.m.? No. Let me see if I was on the right track at all. I guess? No, the camera's not gonna be anything. This is from way earlier on. It has to be something that... I already did the spy camera, it's not that. We have to find a way to prove that Adrian Andrews did not know from the very beginning that Juan Corrida was dead when she walked into the room. And I think the only way would be the vase, maybe? I was gonna think the water on the thing with the vase, but nope. Hang on. Yeah. Appears I'm on the wrong track. Okay. While pretending to be the first person to discover the body and enter the scene, Adrian Andrews already knew from the very beginning that Juan Corrida was dead. Let me go through this again. From the very beginning, that's correct. But from before my client visited the room, all of my clients know precisely what the situation is at all times. I wonder if that's really true. See, that's the part... Nope. It has to be this, but how? I don't think any person would help here. Let's see. Move the business card? I mean... I mean, I don't know if the card itself is like the fact that Miss Andrews was carrying it. No. Nope. Gotta be something better. Okay. What I was that was kind of like the next thing I was gonna go for, but I think it's because of the fact that, well, let's see how it explains it, and if I'm right, then we'll see. Thank you so much for taking the time to testify, Mr. DeKiller.
What is the meaning of that attitude?
When Adrian Andrews entered the victim's room, Your client had no idea that Juan Corrida had been murdered. But how? How do you know that? From this wine glass, Your Honor. The glass? Mr. the Killer's supposed client thought Mr. Corrida had only fainted, which is why this glass of tomato juice was poured for the victim. But isn't that just a part of Adrian Andrews' calculated plan? That is not possible, Your Honor. This glass bears the fingerprints of that person. Had this been planned, they would never have left their fingerprints behind. Yep, that's a good point. There we go. I see your point. Mr. Edgeworth, what is your opinion? Strangely enough, I had the same exact thought just now. Witness, how do you explain this strange phenomenon?
Isn't it a waste of time to ask about such a minor detail? It's not a very important point anyway, correct?
I'm afraid you are mistaken. If Adrian Andrews really is your client as you claim, then your client should have had knowledge of Mr. Corrida's death. If not, then that can only mean that Adrian Andrews was never your client at all.
How strange.
Yes?
Why is it that the attorney has yet to raise an objection at this absurd situation?
Phoenix, if the killer figures out what we're up to, we're in real trouble. I know. Mr. Edgeworth, I'm surprised. You know you can't say things like that without any evidence. Sorry.
Well, that was an awfully weak objection for the two of you.
Anyway, I am positive there was a contradiction in that testimony. The prosecution requests further testimony concerning when the request was taken.
Very well.
Right now I have to buy us more time. While we wait for the items the killer left behind to get here. Just know that the very outcome of this trial lies within those items. Okay.
This request came to me, about a week ago. It was a request for my services on the night of the awards ceremony. We met at a certain bar to discuss and finalize a few matters. That is what occurred. I trust my memory, and I believe I have made no mistakes.
Okay. So you physically met your client, huh? Hang on a minute. Let's see if... Are they gonna pull this card out? Never mind, they can. Damn. Alright.
That's correct. Meeting one's client is the first step to building trust, in my opinion.
I see. Well, Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please. Okay. Let's do it up. About a week ago, okay? 1 week ago? Are you sure?
Yes, I'm quite sure. I, of course, have had my own preparations, and I was barely able to finish. When you request my services, Mr. Attorney, I hope you will keep that in mind.
Please, stop!
But in any case, my client this time had a very specific date and time in mind.
Sorry, 1 second, chat. Alright, sorry about that. We're good. Alright.
But in case my client at this time had a very specific date and time in mind.
A specific date and time? Okay. Did you ask why on that specific night?
No. I tried to fulfill all the conditions of my client's request. But as for why, I only had my suspicions.
Suspicions, huh? Press further! So what are these suspicions you had? Why did your client request that night?
I'm sure it was all for the bear.
The bear?
My client spoke of it. I'm sure there'll be a bear-shaped figurine in Juan Corrida's room. I'd like you to retrieve that item for me.
He must be talking about the bear puzzle. Inside that figurine was a suicide note. Naturally, the victim brought it with him to his hotel room. He was planning to publicly disclose its contents at the press conference after all.
That's correct. And if I had not done the job that night, I would not have known where that bear figurine was.
I see. Well, Mr. Wright, was the testimony just now of any importance? Sure. The testimony just now has made one thing clear, and that is the client knew the secret of that bear figurine. Huh? Why is everyone so quiet?
Mr. Wright, I think all of us already knew that.
Oh, really? Witness, please continue with your testimony. I mean, come on! Come on, man!
Met a certain bar.
Okay. So you physically met Adrian Andrews, right?
Of course I did.
What was that? What was that brief pause? Witness, I would like for you to give us a few more details.
I always meet my clients as a matter of principle. I've never taken a request by telephone or mail.
And why is that?
That's because I value the trust between the client and myself above all else. And the only way to establish that is to speak to the client while looking them in the eye.
Well, Mr. Wright, was that testimony just now of any importance?
Yes! It's all important, damn it!
Of course it was very important, Your Honor. If Mr. the Killer had met his client before the murder, then it's unlikely he is mistaken.
So you're saying that his client really was Adrian Andrews?
I guess so.
See, it's just as I said.
I'm so lost. Who the heck am I supposed to be helping here? Calm down, Phoenix. Think carefully and relax.
Now then, will the witness please continue?
I'm enjoying just choosing the importance part every time. So your client was Adrian Andrews?
That's correct.
Well, he says the two of them met. But if they did, then there shouldn't be anything wrong with the killer's testimony. Well, there doesn't seem to be anything strange this time around. You have to draw more information from him, but you can't draw his suspicion. If you can do that, you should be able to find a flaw in his testimony somewhere. Talk about a delicate balance. Okay. You physically met Adrian Andrews. Of course I did. Probably just my imagination. I need to find something more definitive to catch this guy on. Can we believe that your testimony up to this point has been reliable? Uh-huh. You late? A little bit, Sage. A little bit. Not much, man. How you doing? 1 week ago, are you sure? Quite sure. At my own preparations, I was barely able to finish. Your customer services, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Specific date and time. Nope. Oh, I forgot I forgot to save. That's alright. That unfortunately is inaccurate just because I had the loss of internet like 2.5 hours ago or so. So it's off by like a half hour or so, unfortunately. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out the root cause of it. It's been annoying. Did you ask for specifics? And I know I try to fulfill the conditions of my client's request, but as for why I only have my suspicions. Even if I ask about them, it would only be a guess. I see, that's fine then. Okay. Do I need to press again? Sure, it was all for the bear. Right. Okay. Victim brought him with him to his hotel room. We're talking to a radio right now. I think we're not to this part quite yet. Met a certain bar to discuss and finalize a few matters. One week ago, were you sure? Yes, I'm quite sure. I, of course, had my own preparations and was barely able to finish. And... No. I didn't think it was, I just kind of wanted to try it. It's this bar thing that I can't figure out. I want to press this further. And her principal, I've never taken a request by telephone or mail. Okay. If the killer had met the client before the murder, then it's unlikely he is mistaken. Something I want to see. What if... No. What does tab do? What, tab just lets me present a piece of evidence. The reason I went for this is because I was gonna try and be like, hey, do you know what Adrian Andrews looks like if you've met her? You know, that kind of thing. Because I don't know if he's actually, because like that would kind of prove that he hasn't met her or whatever, you know what I mean? But it doesn't sound like that's sort of the right angle that I want to go at with it. I just don't know what angle to go with. Yeah, that's this. This is the court record right here. All these items and everything are... This is the court record. All this stuff. Anything else? So your client was Adrian Andrews? Correct. Well, he says the two of them met, but if they did, then there shouldn't be anything wrong with the killer's testimony. I feel like there's something I need to press to get more information, but I don't know what and how. The press for suspicion. And we know it's... we did for the bear, right? Bear-shaped figurine. And until that night, I would not have known where the bear figurine was. No. I'm missing something. It cleanses as a matter of principle. I've never taken a request by telephone or mail. Because I value the trust between clients above all else, and the only way to establish that is to speak to the client while looking them in the eye. Why he meets his clients is not important, and that wasn't the point. Witness, please stop sidestepping my questions.
What do you mean by that?
My question was, did you really meet Adrian Andrews in person? That's what I wanted to pull out with the Adrian Andrews thing, with when I used her profile, but this is close enough.
I have already told you, Mr. Wright, I did. It was only through talking with him.
Whoa. Oh, to Killer, you messed up so badly.
It was only through talking with him face to face that I began to trust him. That's when I thought I could trust this person as a client.
It's true what they say about talking face to face. Well, Mr. Wright, was the testimony just now of any importance? Yes! If I heard what I think I heard just now, then I think I've got him. Your Honor, I believe the testimony just now was of the utmost importance. Ah, really? If that's the case, witness, please include the statement just now in your testimony.
Very well.
Alright, literally we're just gonna do it now. And present. See you later, bro. I would like to go over this one more time. You met Adrian Andrews at a bar and took the request at that time.
Yes, that is correct.
And that's when you thought he was trustworthy.
How many times must I repeat myself? Yes, that is correct.
I'm sorry, but that is an impossible tale.
What?
Shelly the Killer. You have never met the real Adrian Andrews.
Why would you say that?
Because you made one very big slip-up. About her.
So what is the issue? What did you say just now? About her?
If you had ever met Adrian Andrews in person, one look would have told you that she is a woman. The whole thing breaks!
Order in the court.
Mr. Wright, what is the meaning of this? The witness just testified, or this witness testified to the following: that he always meets face-to-face with his clients when taking their request.
But he has never met Adrian Andrews in person.
Yes, Your Honor, that is exactly the point. That means Mr. the Killer's client could not have been Miss Adrian Andrews. It's sweating oil. Oh my god, that's amazing.
Mr. Edgeworth, I understand your logic on this one. However, why would the assassin make such a basic mistake?
I believe it has to do with her name, Your Honor.
Her name?
Yes, Adrian Andrews is without a doubt a very androgynous name. Because he's literally an assassin, Sage.
Yes, I see.
Unluckily for Mr. the Killer, the entire time he was on the stand, no one has stated Adrian Andrews' gender. And so he simply picked the wrong gender to go with.
What? What is going on? Shelly the Killer, this court demands an explanation. I think somehow I must have mixed up this client with another.
So does that mean you remember something different now?
Yes, of course. Please, if you would allow me to testify once more.
I know he's just going to spit out more lies.
Very well, but this time, please give us the truth and nothing but the truth.
Okay.
Yes, I remember I took that request by mail. There have been times where I took a job without having to meet my client. The request was for the murder of Juanita and 2 or 3 other small things. When I saw the name at the end of the letter, I thought my client to be a man.
Okay. Literally just said you never okay.
So he only took this job through a letter.
Or you took it. He didn't mention anything about a letter in his earlier testimony, which means he is definitely lying. Be careful, Phoenix. If you break the assassin's testimony completely, it's over for us. I know, I can't make him suspicious, but I think we're okay. We can do this. As long as he's standing there across from me. No matter how strong of a punch I throw, he'll counter it.
Now then, let's begin the cross-examination.
Okay. Alright, now I remember it took the request by mail. But didn't you just say that you always meet your clients?
Yes, I suppose I did say that. However, there are some clients for whom a meeting is simply not possible.
But didn't you meet your client this time?
No, I did not.
Oh, come now, let's stop with this game of cat and mouse.
Using your silkiest voice is not going to work on me.
Alright then, just cough it up and confess!
Mr. Wright, you can't badger a witness with such harsh words. You're a lawyer, so behave like one and present evidence instead of mindlessly yelling. Now then, do you have any proof that Mr. the Killer met with his client?
Have any proof that Mr. the Killer met with his client? Don't we technically... I'm gonna try this just because I remember it being a thing. Will Powers' testimony technically said that that butler or the bellboy who was the killer met with Matt on guard, so I'm curious if this is gonna go that way. We've come this far, I have to try to prove something here. Very well, I will show you proof. You sure about this, Phoenix? Here is the proof that the witness met with his client who wished Mr. Corita dead. I don't think it's gonna be. So, what do you think?
You may say, what do you think? However, I am for all intents and purposes a transceiver radio.
Oh, that's right. You can't actually see the evidence.
Well, I don't think this was all one I needed to see. I can hear the pure silence in the air there.
Okay, cool. I was curious if that was the way they were going to go about it, and the answer is no. I'm sorry, Your Honor. Unfortunately, I don't have any proof.
I see. Then your line of questioning was just another waste of time.
Sadly for us, Your Honor, that is the nature of right and wrong. Right? Alright. Okay. And why could you not meet certain clients?
Recently, I have been receiving more requests. If I meet each and every client, I would lose some nice business opportunities.
Nice business opportunities?
On top of which, the times have changed. It is now the age of information and computers, correct? Well, I have joined the times and now take requests via electronic mail.
I'm sorry, really? Electronic mail? Do you have to mail that in a special insulated envelope?
I'm very sorry. I despise the shortening of words. What I meant by electronic mail is what is commonly referred to as email.
Email? In a contest of mimicry, the judge would beat a parrot hands down. Anyway, so you took this job without having met your client, and... Okay. 2 or 3 other things?
Yes.
And what were these other things?
We are the things that have nothing to do with this case.
Should I do? Should I let him slide with that? It'd be really bad if I pushed his buttons the wrong way and he got mad. I'm curious. Let's see what happens. Whether or not they're related to this case is for the court to decide.
Mr. Attorney.
Yes?
Everything I have said from the beginning has been nothing but beneficial to your clients, which is why I wonder what is pushing you to continue with this cross-examination. Could it be that you are planning to betray your own client?
That's...
I smell the stench of a backstabber. And should you turn out to be one...
Wait! Uh-oh. This is looking really bad. Shouldn't press my luck. I have to think. Is this worth pursuing? Witness, this is a very important matter. Please cooperate and tell us what these other jobs your client requested were.
If it's truly that important, I suppose I don't have much of a choice. The bear figurine.
The bear figurine?
After the assassination of the target, I was to find that figurine. I was told that this job was just as important as the actual killing.
And where was that figurine?
It was inside Mr. Corita's suitcase.
And then, what did you do next?
I handed it over to my client right away.
You gave it to your client. Interesting. This information certainly sounds important to me. Witness, please include what you just stated in your testimony.
As you wish.
Well, I guess pressing worked. I found this figurine at Mr. Ungard's mansion. If you gave it to Miss Andrews, then what was it doing there?
I was waiting for her there. That was also part of the plan to frame Mr. Ungard, I'm sure.
That makes a lot of sense. Well, Mr. Wright, do you have any problems with this piece of testimony? Let's see what happens. So the killer says he gave the figurine to Miss Andrews. But I know somewhere in that statement there's a contradiction. And yet, I know that if I present something trivial here, he will cut the connection on his end. If you want to make a strong point, Phoenix, you have to present strong evidence. He's right. So now what, Dr. Wright? Do we even have anything that would work there? It's no use. As long as I can't put my finger on the central problem here, pressing this witness anymore would be extremely dangerous. It appears that Mr. Wright has no problems. Well then, witness, please continue. Okay. So you're saying that you never saw your client's face, not even once? I did, once. It was when I went to give my client the figurine. Yes, I see. Well, Miss Andrews was wearing a mask at the time. A mask? The Nickel Samurai mask, I'm guessing. Mr. Wright, what do you have to say about this? Do you have any problems with this piece of testimony? Didn't we have testimony stating that she wasn't wearing a mask? Oh no, she would have been. Never mind. This one. Yeah, she would have been wearing the mask at the time. Never mind. I think I could pull something out of what he said, but it would be real bad if I did something and made him mad over something trivial. There are no problems with the testimony, Your Honor. We pretty much reached the end of our rope here. Huh? Seems like we're still okay to me. That's exactly what is so bad. At the rate we're going, we will end up completely destroying the killer's lie. If we do that, you already know how serious of a situation that will put us in. Oh yeah. All I can do now is pray that those items reach us in time. Okay, so we already did that. I want to see this one again. Found this figurine in Mr. Ungard's mansion. If you gave it to Miss Andrews, then what was it doing there? I was waiting for her there. That was also part of the plan to frame Mr. Ungard. So the killer says he gave the figurine to Miss Andrews, but I know somewhere in that statement there is a contradiction. And yet, I know that if I present something trivial here, yep, I have to present strong evidence. Let me go ahead and save here real quick. Witness, let's go over this one more time. You gave Miss Andrews the bear figurine, and she told you to take the bear and wait for her at Ungard Mansion. Is that correct?
Yes. Where are you going with this?
Well, I think maybe you might have remembered a few things incorrectly.
What?
This is a battle of wits. I can't let up on him. I don't think it is possible for Miss Andrews to have been the recipient of this bear. I don't know if let me see. I don't know if that timing is right, to be honest with you. I mean, to be honest, I think it's actually possible it could have been because she would have taken the Nickel Samurai costume and left the room because she changed in the victim room, went back to the other room. Well, actually, no. No, that timing doesn't work. Because he would have had to... The timing would have been... The killer goes and kills Quan, takes the bear, takes it to the person who's wearing the Nickel Samurai costume. But at that point, Adrian Andrews hadn't even gone to the room yet. So... she would not have been able to go into the room to get the Nickel Samurai costume. She wouldn't have had the Nickel Samurai costume on at the time. I think this might work, but I don't know. Nope. Damn. I think I'm on the right track. I just don't know if it works this way, but let's try it. Yeah, Miss Andrews, the bear figurine. She told you to take the bear and wait for it on Guard Mansion. All right. So, maybe the picture of this? I'm sorry, I went to visit the water closet for a second. Mr. Attorney, I think. If you ask me any more of these pointless questions, there will be no mercy. Yeah, there you go. Okay. Okay. Do I have anything definitive enough for this? Maybe we can do the Mr. Powers thing now? I wonder if presenting Will Powers will work in this way. Nope. Because, like, his testimony of saying that he saw the Nickel Samurai being handed the thing... Damn. But there's no, like, other evidence that shows that, I guess? Maybe, can we present the bear in this case? I'm gonna try it. I don't think it'll work, though. I don't think it's possible for Miss Andrews to have been the recipient of the bear. But giving the bear, I don't think is enough. We're trying to say that she wasn't there to receive it. Because I think my idea is sound, but maybe it's not the direction they want to go with it. Because I think that's true. In the fact that Adrian Andrews could not have been the recipient of the bear because she could not have been in the Nickel Samurai costume when it was taken at the time. Because the killer had to have gone in, killed Juan, taken the bear, gone over to the other room, done that, then left. But Adrian Andrews hadn't even gone into the room yet to put on the Nickel Samurai costume. Because if it had been the other way around and she would have been the Nickel Samurai costume in Mr. Ungard's room, then she would have seen an alive Juan Corrida at the time. But how do I prove that? Unless I'm thinking in the completely wrong direction. Which at that point, I would have no idea. I would seriously have literally zero idea. Maybe something with her prints?
Take that!
I don't think so. No. Oh, it was the bear. I thought it was too obvious that was the bear. Shelly the Killer, if you had really given the bear to Miss Andrews, then this item should not have been inside it. Oh, they went a completely different direction. Okay. I was going with, like, the timing and everything, but they were going with, oh, this shouldn't have even been in it in the first place. Which, I mean, I get that. And I think both arguments could have worked, so...
This item?
I see where you're going. Yep, that's where I'm going.
Where's everyone going? Do I need to pack a suitcase?
Your Honor, please think back to Miss Andrews' testimony. I was going to burn it for her sake. If even for a single minute, this bear had actually been in Miss Andrews' hands, I'm sure she would have taken the suicide note out and burned it.
Order, order, order! So that's where you two were going.
So, by the very fact that the suicide note was still inside the bear, it tells us that your client didn't know how to disassemble the puzzle. Which means... It means, Your Honor, that it is impossible for Adrian Andrews to be the client. Ah!
Order! Order! Oh, Mr. Phoenix Wright. I'm sure I mentioned this before. How I hate traitors above all else. I think your cross-examination has clearly demonstrated something to me. You must wish to break your end of our agreement.
No, that's not...
That's enough. If that's your intention, then there's only one thing for me to do.
Wait, please!
Gentlemen, ladies, please excuse me. I have a matter that I must attend to.
No, please! Not that. Please wait!
Mr. Attorney, bring this trial to a speedy end and I may stay my hand. Otherwise... What in the... Mr. Wright, are you? Mr. Edgeworth?
Yes, Your Honor.
I didn't understand this witness's outburst just now. Do you think there is a need to hear more testimony, or is this enough?
Well, we should. Edgeworth, we can't do this. If we keep this up, chill. The prosecution,
What has come over everyone? Even you are.
The prosecution! Russ.
What is going on around here?
The prosecution has no further questions, Your Honor. What does he have over us? Maya. Literally, he has Maya. Held captive.
Whoa. What? Well, I never thought I'd see the day. This is a most unusual situation. If the prosecution rests with no further questions, then the prosecution has failed to uphold its stance. If that is the case, then even though I am reluctant, I must believe that Mr. DeKiller's testimony is accurate. That would mean that Shelley DeKiller's client is Adrian Andrews. Ugh. Mr. Wright.
Yes, Your Honor?
If I end the trial here, right now, then your client, Matt Ungod, would be declared innocent. And in his place, Adrian Andrews would be charged with murder.
Miss Andrews would be charged with murder.
The prosecution has no further questions, so we will now hear the defense's final remarks. Bailiff, please bring the defendant, Matt Ungod, to the stand.
The items from DeKiller's hideout didn't make it in time. Hello?
The prophecy is true.
And Clicks, thank you very much for the follow and for fulfilling the prophecy. Much love, bud. We tried as hard as we could, but it looks like our time has run out. I can't believe it. The outcome now lies in your hands.
Dude, did the old guy finally decide?
To be honest, I can't think of you as a truly innocent and good person. You have done enough evil to drive a woman to suicide. But, at least on the charge of murder, it would appear you are innocent.
Ha! So, I guess even the old fuddy-duddy figured me out.
Mr. Ungod?
What an atrocious lawyer I have, giving his own client up like this. Isn't that refreshing like a spring breeze crap? It's just as atrocious, don't you agree? And anyway, get on with it and pronounce me innocent already. Right, Mr. Lawyer?
Should I side with justice? Should I save Maya's life?
You better get on guard a guilty sentence, okay?
But what if I did that? Maya will die. What if I say he's innocent? And Miss Andrews will be charged as the murderer. Do I say he's guilty or not guilty? Either choice I make, someone's life is going to end. It all hinges on what I choose. Now then, Mr. Wright, let's hear the defense's final statements on this matter. If the person who hired the assassin was Adrian Andrews, then your client, Mr. Matt on God, is innocent.
There's no need to ask, old man. After all, my lawyer's going to say what I want, aren't you?
Right. I can't do this, but I have to decide something. Can't count on the evidence to help me anymore. I have to listen to my heart. Client, Matt Ungard is... Matt Ungard is... Ooh, boy. Oh, man. Oh, boy, oh, boy. 1 for guilty, chat. 2 for not guilty. Put it in chat. Clearly, most of chat agrees with, apparently it's unanimous that, that we make this guy guilty, and, you say, see you later, Maya. We are waiting for your answer, Mr. Wright. Matt on God, your client deserves an answer. I'm sorry. Matt on guard is...
Objection!
I'm sorry, what? Excuse me? Francisca von Karma? Everybody's favorite objection! What are you doing here? Ow! Okay. You see now, don't you, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Oh, okay. I think this was a lot better, though. In all honesty, I think that built up the suspense a lot harder than just her showing up sooner. I'll be completely honest. If she just showed up a lot sooner, just because we got that part right, I think it would have been. I think it would have been a lot less suspenseful. This is exactly why you should never take your eyes off that scruffy fool. Did you bring them? The final pieces? Do you have them? You should know better than to ask that, Mr. Miles Edgeworth. Avant Karma's perfect in every way. The evidence is here in perfect condition. Don't worry about Scruffy. He's fine, and his injuries are minor. All of the items are inside this. What a filthy old coat this is. That's Gumshoes. Its spot is tattered rags anywhere. I apologize for its ugliness, but there was nothing else to wrap the items in. fought long and hard this whole trial, all for what is inside that raggedy coat. I'm sure that inside that coat lies a crucial piece of evidence. Your Honor, inside that filthy coat are the defense's final pieces of evidence.
Your final evidence?
I'm glad you're not attempting a German accent, because yeah, it's kind of awkward to do. Yeah, I'm not about that. You never saw that part before? I honestly think, like, having her come in sooner, like I said, would have been so much worse, because I feel like that was so incredibly suspenseful, and that no matter what choice we chose, she would just burst in, and it would have been great. And it was great. I loved it.
This trial is already over. All that remains is for me to hand down my verdict. I do not believe that any evidence presented now would change the outcome of this trial.
What?
Your Honor, it is our duty to examine every piece of evidence down to the last. I request that Ms. Von Karma be allowed to present these pieces of evidence.
I suppose you are right, Mr. Edgeworth. I grant permission to do so. However, this one obvious rule applies here. If these items do not bring up any new points, then they will not be accepted by this court. Now, Miss Von Karma, if you please.
These pieces of evidence are items left by the killer during his escape from the police.
He must have been in quite a rush.
Yes, Your Honor. The killer left 3 pieces of evidence. Somewhere among the evidence we're about to see, there will be something that will turn this whole situation around, like a miracle. I'm sure of it. That is all we can hope for. The first item is a pistol. Does the killer's pistol have anything to do with this case? The killer's pistol? No, not right now. I'm pretty sure there was no gun involved in this case. There's no real benefit to hearing about it. Please present the next piece of evidence. One of the items retrieved from the killer's hideout, nothing else is known. The second piece of evidence is this videotape. I bet the killer took that from the unguarded mansion. Now that I want to question. Have you checked the contents of that tape? Unfortunately, there was no time to. Oh yeah. But I would speculate that the tape is very important.
Why would you say that?
Because he came back to his hideout for it. The killer went back for it? That's right. It looks like he was trying to recover it. He injured 3 of the officers at the site. But somehow it looks like they managed to protect it from the killer. Jelly the Killer is no ordinary man. Okay. The last piece of evidence is this bellboy's uniform. Is that a uniform from the Gatewater Hotel? Let's go. Was that used during the crime? I am almost certain it was. There's even a pair of black leather gloves in one of the pockets. There's no doubt about it, the killer was wearing this on the night of the murder. There was one thing I found interesting about this uniform.
And what is that?
Also, what's up, Pat? How you doing, bud? There's a button missing on this uniform.
A button?
It's a very unique button. I'm sure if we were to recover it, it would provide us with an interesting clue. One of the special buttons is missing. That is all I have to present, Your Honor.
It's just as I thought.
And what is that, Your Honor?
I'm sure we were under normal circumstances. These items from Shelly the Killer's hideout would be very important clues.
What's up, Primal Extinction? How you doing, bud?
However, our question is not who did the killing.
It is who is the client.
Yes, that is correct. And these 3 items do not tell us anything about that. Thank you for your hard work, Miss Von Karma. You may step down now.
Wait, Your Honor! Please allow me to examine this new evidence.
Overruled. This court already has all the evidence it needs to hand down a verdict.
Wonderful, absolutely splendid. This judge is such a brilliant man, isn't he?
Not much, how you doing? I'm doing good, bud. Is this the end? Phoenix. Knew it. There's no such thing as a miracle in this world, is there? I think you're wrong. I think they do exist. But you have to make that miracle happen. You've come this far. You can't give up now. But no matter how you think about it, it's... Try, for my sake. Just think about it for a second. There are two ways out of this situation for us. Two? The first. Make on guard wish from the bottom of his soul for a guilty verdict. Huh? The killer will always place his client's wishes first. If on guard himself wishes to be convicted, then he will let his hostage go. That may be true, but... That's asking me to do the impossible. The second way. Force Killer to end his contract with Ungard. If Killer were to no longer think of Ungard as his client, then he would let Maya go. Yeah, that's even more impossible. He is a man who values his duty towards his clients above all else. I know both of these seem like impossible feats at first, but if you could make either one happen, it would truly be a miracle. The bigger problem is, the judge has already said he doesn't need any more evidence. The pieces he was just shown, he's not accepting them. Phoenix, think things through from the other side. Isn't that what has always worked for us? The other side? Wait, does she mean... You mean to turn things around? Phoenix, the judge says he doesn't need the evidence. If that's the case, then who does need it? The person who needs the evidence. The defense, prosecution, and the judge. We have all seen the pieces of evidence. And that is how we have come to know the truth. But there's one person who has yet to see them all. And that person does not know the truth. That truth may be what will bring about the miracle in the end. There are no objections this time, correct? Now then, I will pronounce my verdict.
Why don't we all respectfully sit back and listen, kids?
I have already told you, Mr. Wright. This court does not need any more evidence.
I'm not saying it is us that needs the evidence, Your Honor.
Then, you want to show that the evidence to that person?
Yes, Your Honor. Please, Your Honor.
Mr. Wright, for you to ask with such passion, I will grant you one chance.
One chance.
Please show your evidence to who you think is the right person.
That's impossible to turn the situation around in one try.
One try, that is all I will permit.
I have to try to remember everything that has happened up to this point. Think, Phoenix, think. There must be a way to save Maya while taking a guard down at the same time.
Now then, Mr. Wright, let's not waste any more time. Who would you like to show? Who would you like to show evidence to?
Yeah. So, I kind of feel like I needed to get more info on that pistol. So, if the killer tried to violently recover this, then there may be a way if we show the evidence to the killer. I don't know if that would work, though. It's worth a shot. Because I'm trying to... I mean, I'm pretty sure it's just like if I'm right about what's on that video, it's literally just Shelly the killer murdering the victim. It's like literally it's gonna show the entire thing from the bear's perspective. Because the camera was set for 8 p.m. for 1 hour. So at 8 p.m., you had 45 minutes of time where things happened, right? So that means that you would have seen the killer do his thing. You would have seen Adrian Andrews do her entire thing. But I don't know if that's enough to show to the killer, though. To force him to break the contract, you know what I mean? I just don't know if that's enough. Showing it to Matt's not really gonna do any good. I'm not losing anything by trying it, though. That's the thing. Well, the killer's already seen the video. If we show the evidence to Matt... Would that break his trust, though? YOLO. I see. And now, tell this court what one piece of evidence you would like to show this person. I don't know if this is gonna work, but I'm gonna try it. But he doesn't know the contents of the video. Well, what do you think, Mr. Edgeworth?
I don't have anything to say to this.
How about you, Miss Von Kramer?
Well, I was just shot, so... I'm afraid I cannot allow the defense to continue. What? No one understands what you are talking about anymore.
Wait, please, one more chance.
That's enough, Mr. Wright. I will now state my verdict. This court finds the defendant Matt on guard.
Not guilty.
Yeah! Woo!
Everything, woo, 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 woo.
That is all. This court is adjourned.
And just like that, the case came to an end. I ran away from the courtroom and wandered the streets alone. I never saw Maya again. The killer is a man of his word, so I'm sure he released her as promised. I heard the verdict of Miss Andrews' trial a few days later. She was found guilty, of course. The miracle never happened. Maybe it was never meant to. Because a miracle is something that doesn't exist. Cool. And that, chat, is going to be the end of the stream for me for today. Get wrecked, dudes. I timed that so perfectly. Hey. All right, chat. If you want to see what actually happens, then you're going to have to come back here tomorrow at 8 p.m. EST to find out the end of the final trial of the second game. If you enjoyed the stream, please be sure to follow. Thank you to everyone who did. After the second trial, I believe we're going to be playing Judgment. So, yep, I trolled all of you. That was I'm so happy there was a bad ending to that. I was like ready. I had 5 minutes left on the stream, and I was like, I can't do a reload. This needs to end somehow. And sure enough, it did. So, all right, guys, love all of you. I will see you guys tomorrow for the end of this game. Please, if you want to see what happens, be sure to come back. We will continue. And we will figure out how to, actually get the right choice. So, see you guys tomorrow. 8 p.m. EST. See ya.